I think that not the European Commission, but overall the economic authorities, institutions are considering the fact that inflation rise is more persistent than previously estimated. And this is also what in our winter forecast that I presented this morning we are estimating. So we are estimating an inflation of 3.6% this year, which means that it will remain in our estimate quite high in the first part of the year and will begin to decline in the final quarter this year, and then will be below 2% level in 2023. This is our estimate, and as you rightly said before, this is of course affecting economic growth, but the fundamentals of the economic growth are still there, and so we are estimating a quite positive growth for the European Union of 4% this year. And on average, we are already back to the GDP level of the pre-pandemic. And let me only remember the fact that in the previous financial crisis, we spent 7 years before reaching the pre-crisis GDP level. So the rebound was quite strong. Now we have to transform it in a durable and sustainable growth, if possible.
So the recovery is underway, but of course, market participants are expecting at least one rate rise later this year by the ECB amid all of these inflationary pressures. Are you worried, Commissioner, that if the ECB increases rates, that could actually essentially slow down the recovery that you just described?
Well, I'm quite confident on the decisions that the ECB will take. I take note and fully agree with what Christine Lagarde said recently on Monday in the European Parliament, and when she said that any decisions in monetary policy will be taken by the ECB in a very gradual way, and of course it is to the ECB to take these decisions, but we are now still in an environment of negative rates and very good financing conditions in our economy, and this is one of the fundamentals that can support a good level of growth for the next months.
Now, I would like to focus on one country, Italy. The forecast that you published moments ago suggests that there will be quite a solid GDP growth this year, but that will halve in 2023. Amid all of the political fragmentation, Commissioner, that we've seen over the last few weeks in Italy, is actually your country the biggest concern when looking at the economic outlook for the euro area?
Well, I'm quite satisfied of the fact that Italy, like other European countries, had a very good level of growth last year. It was 6.5% of growth, and that Italy is reaching now the pre-pandemic level of GDP. The growth perspective for this year is slightly above the euro area average. So perspectives are quite positive. Indeed, as you said, we had a lot of political fragmentation. I also have to say that this is not only an Italian problem, but it is quite distributed all over the world. But I am confident that the Italian Prime Minister, Mario Draghi, will be able to support the country's effort And don't forget the fact that Italy is receiving from the EU program that we call Next Generation EU something like 200 billion euros in grants and loans in these from now to 2026. And this will be a strong driver for growth, hopefully.